Hello, everybody. Welcome back to mathematics. Today, we're going to learn how to find the lowest common multiple between two or more numbers. Let's start with the word multiple. The multiples of a number are basically the results in the table of the number. For example, for 7, the multiples are 7, since 7 times 1 is 7, 14 times 2 times 3 is 21, times 4 is 28, and so on. They are all multiples of the number. So there's an infinity amount of multiples of each number. Now, common. Common is a characteristic that both numbers in this case share. So when we talk about common multiples, they are about numbers that are multiples of two or more different numbers. For example, the multiples of the 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. And the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, etc. Notice that the 6 is in both lists and also the 12. And if we keep going with the list, there are going to be a lot of multiples that are going to be in both lists. That's why we are looking to the lowest one. So in this case, the 6, because it's the smallest one possible. So we would say that the lowest common multiple between 3 and 6 is 6. But let's learn how to check it through some examples. I'm going to teach you two different methods to get the lowest common multiple. The first one is to decompose two numbers using a 3 of decomposition. For example, the 24, we are going to look for a multiplication that gives us 24. Let's say 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. But at the same time, there are multiplications that give us 4, which is 2 times 2. And for 6, we have 2 times 3. Once we have prime numbers here at the bottom, then the decomposition of the number is done. 24 is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. We do the same with the 36. 36 is 6 times 6. And at the same time, 6 is 2 times 3 and also 2 times 3. So 36 is 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. So the idea with the lowest common multiple is to take the numbers that they repeat. For example, the 2, they have it in common once and twice. And the 3, they have it in common once. So in order to find the lowest common multiple between 24 and 36, we are going to multiply those that repeat just once, 2 times 2 times 3, and multiply the ones that don't repeat. So times 2 times 3. This is 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24, and times 3 is 72. Let's see how this method works with three numbers. So first we need to decompose the numbers. So let's say this is 5 times 8, and the 8 we can also decompose it in 2 times 4, and the 4 is also 2 times 2. The 12 is 3 times 4, and the 4 again is 2 times 2. And finally 16 is 4 times 4, and each 4 I can decompose it by 2 times 2. Let's see which ones are repeated. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And the rest of them, they are all different. So we are going to say the lowest common multiple of 40, 12, and 16 is 2 times 2, which is the repeated ones. But then we need to include everything else. We need to check the ones that repeat in just two of them. For example, this one. The 2 is present in more than one number. So we still write it just once. And then the ones that are alone. So times 5, times 3, and times 2. Then we can do the multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40, times 3 is 120, and times 2 is 240. Okay, let's check how to do the same example with the second method. For the second method, we can start with the numbers written side to side. And we do a vertical line on the right side. Now we are going to do divisions by the prime numbers starting from the smallest one. If it's possible to do the division to one of the numbers, then we do it. For example, we can take a half of the two of them. So we divide by 2, 12 and 18. We still can divide by 2, 6, and 9. The 9, we cannot divide it by 2 again, but we can divide the 6, so we keep doing it. Divided by 2 is 3, and the 9, we don't divide it. Now we cannot divide by 2 again, so we divide by the next prime number, 3. Yes, 3 and 9 are multiples of 3, so divided by 3. Divided by 3 is 1, and divided by 3 is 3. We need to get 1 for all the numbers, so we keep going until we get the other one. Divided by 3 is 1. Okay, we finish. So the result is going to be the multiplication of these numbers. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 6 is 24, and 24 times 3 is 72. Okay, guys, let's repeat the exercise with 3 numbers, but with the second method. So we can start taking a half of them, 26 and 8. A half again, 10, 3, and 4. We can still divide by 2, the 10 and the 4. 5 and 2. And the last one, these 2. Divided by 2 is 1. Then the next prime number is 3. We can divide this one by 3. And finally divided by 5 for this one. Then the lowest common multiple is going to be 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 15 is 60, and 4 times 60 is 240. So again, we found that the lowest common multiple is 240. I feel like this method is a little faster and organized, so you don't do as many mistakes as the other method, but it's up to you guys. The one that you feel more comfortable, you can use that one. Okay, guys, it's practice time. So you need to find the lowest common multiple in each case. You can use the method that you prefer. You can pause the video, try to solve it, and then go back for checking the answer. Okay, let's see. 15 and 75. This method is my favorite one, so that's the one that I'm going to use. We cannot divide them by 2, so we divide them by 3, 5 and 25. We cannot divide by 3 anymore. We divide by 5, 1 and 5. And one more time to get the 1 for both of them. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15, times 5 is 75. So the answer for this one is 75. Let's check the second one, 16, 20, and 30. Okay, we can take a half, 8, 10, 15. A half again, 4, 5, and this one we cannot do it, so we leave it. We can still do a half of this one, and again a half for that one. Get the 1. We can divide by 3 for this one, and finally by 5 for both of them. So we got the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 15 is 60, and 60 times 4 is 240. 240 again. Okay, guys, that was everything for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, your own lessons with me if you want, and let me any question or any topic that you want me to explain in the comments box. Bye bye, guys. See you next time.